Hello, everybody. I hope all is well with you on this fine Thursday afternoon. I am so sorry that I am late, but I got a little bit behind in what I was doing. But I'm here nevertheless. I'm going to only be here till about 6 o'clock, so that gives us about 40 minutes. But I think we can still have a great conversation. I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Like I said, big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are family, and I love you dearly. Also, thank you to my wonderful moderators and all that you do in holding down the comment section. I know it's not easy, but you do a great job at doing it, so thank you. So today we're just going to have a basic conversation. It's not one we've never had before, but there's really so much going on in the world. It's like stuff is developing by the moment, right? And as I was reflecting on a lot of the things happening, around the world in the United States today and yesterday and whatever, I was like, gosh, when are we really going to get serious about separating? When I say we, I mean Black Americans, and not on, no, and I don't think I need to say this, but I will just in case. And I don't know, we hate everybody else, but just kind of like, um, it's long overdue, right? We have to do those things, and so of course we'll get into that. So we'll give everybody else a moment to come on, and if you're watching this on a replay, just go ahead and skip, to where we need to be. Let's see. Who do we have? One who cares how you doing. Bill Lacey, what's going on with you? Says I've been ready, but you have people who love them folks. Lord have mercy. You said a word. African Native, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Ernest, what's going on with you? King Noble, hope you're doing well. And so you one who cares, you're telling somebody else they're on time because I was late. Death knows how you doing. Says more Black women have to abandon the Democrats. Yeah, well, I mean, the Black man ain't that far behind the Black woman with the Democrats. I mean, the Black man voted for the Democrats second to the Black woman, right? Now, ahead of everybody else, it was the Black woman, the Black man, and then everybody else, right? So I think we need to pull him into the conversation. But I got you, LaShonda. How you doing? Yes, indeed. Laura, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Margie, what's going on with you? Lynette, Montgomery, Alabama. Sister Marcella, how you doing? What are you cooking today? S. Williams, how you doing? Mahaya, how you doing? Love and light to you as well. T. Austin in the building. Arneba, how are you doing? Did you catch the webcast last night? I watched most of it, but it was getting kind of late, so I dozed off. So I have to go back and kind of watch it again toward the end because your girl be going to sleep early. Let's see, Obadiah, how you doing? Long time no see. Says I've been asking the same question. Yeah, maybe we can try to come to a solution here today because it's just really so frustrating, right? It does make you want to take a deep breath. Denise, how you doing? And Tracy, how are you doing? Denise, she says assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam to you. Says you are. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Tyrone, what's going on? Says what's up exactly? He said, what exactly up? Well, everything. Chalk Chick, what's going on with you? Kazaya, how are you? Goddess Yamaya, what's going on? And Sister Marcella says, every time a Black people try to do something for self, they come and destroy. You can say Black Wall Street and other places. Yes, we know there's a history of that. Brogu, how you doing? I am doing great, and I hope you're doing the same. Tracy says, if it's outside of business, I don't mess with nobody, period. I know that's right. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started because, yes, I was a little bit tardy today, and I don't want to hold y'all as I know there's a whole lot of people that will be on, like Brother Phil at 7 and other people who will be, having different conversations. So anyway, as I was saying, I was kind of thinking about this a lot because as you guys may or may not know, and listen, I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel. I don't even know if I've ever watched Jimmy Kimmel as I don't watch a lot of TV and I'm not normally up late to watch any late night television shows or anything like that. But as you guys heard, if you didn't hear, Jimmy Kimmel, he got taken off of air, right? He had a nighttime show or something like that. He's had it for years. And he said something about, I guess, Charlie Kirk and Trump, right? A lot of people are kind of divided on what he said was bad or good. I don't know. But nevertheless, he was taken off the air indefinitely. And then I guess there's calls for other ones to be taken off. I think Stephen Colbert, he was taken off a couple of months ago for something he said. Of course, we know that there's this, from what many say, attack on freedom of speech is not free anymore, even though the party that was basically saying, hey, it's free, right? Because the Democrats, to keep it honest with you, yeah, they were trying to, impede on free speech as well. But the things that we're seeing now is just like, whoa, now, of course, they're saying there's some other things that's behind Jimmy Kimmel. Listen, I don't care about Jimmy Kimmel being off the air one way or the other, because I said I don't watch. But if they'll do that to him, right, and he's just mega something, right? If they'll do that to him, well, they've been doing it to us forever, right? But of course, and it's a matter of time for us, and it's not, to me, either an issue of the Democrats or Republicans. I think they're both the same, because we know that especially Black media, even if it's on YouTube, has been targeted even under the Biden administration and things like that. So as I was thinking about stuff like that, I'm like, well, when are we going to separate? And not only just with that, because as Dr. Claude Anderson says, we own less than 3%, is probably less than that now, 3% of the media. If they shut somebody like him down, and they'll keep going, right? There's a lot of people who actually in the white media, I would say, have lost their jobs and stuff. It's a matter of time. How will we communicate? Because we don't really have our own thing, right? Let's say one day somebody says, well, we're going to get all of them off of YouTube, right? We don't really like what they're saying. How will we communicate? Will we go back to old fashioned, right? Will we, I don't know, call each other, or say we're going to meet here and have real discussions and things like that? Like, what will we do? Now, of course, y'all know the African Diaspora News Channel has an app. I've been looking for people to join that, and there's people joining it. So thank you for those who are doing it. But like, where is the Black media outlets that we really own, like completely, and control? Where is that at? And I know ain't nobody gonna say nothing like no BET, right? So as I was thinking about when will we separate, I thought back to the days of Booker T. Washington, right? Because it was his ideology, and it says, he was a prominent voice for the idea that Black people should work within the existing system to achieve economic stability before demanding social and political equality, right? So he was like, work within the system. So if you think about the system, what was the system? The system was, and still is, right, of white supremacy. And we know that the system that he was talking about has never changed in regards to us. That system did not include us at all, right? As Dr. Claude Anderson says, the only part of the Constitution that refers to us is the 13th, 14th, and 15th, right? Slavery, whether you're a citizen or not, and, the right to vote. And then that's, pretty much about it. But what system? And so as I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, we're kind of still operating in that realm. Now, when I say we, I mean, there's people like, let's say Democrat Shields, and y'all know who they are. We can be here all day naming them. They would rather us continue to try to fight to be included in the system, right? Now, I'm not saying voting to some degree is not important. It is, right? But if we never got a chance to vote, how are we going to, like, not achieve anything ever? And somebody mentioned Black Wall Street. I don't know how much they were voting back then. I know, Black men especially had the right to vote in the late 1800s, like 1870s and things like that. But of course, it was disenfranchisement going on. But if we never voted again, what will we do? Because essentially a lot of those Democrat shills and things like that, they want us to, just keep hope alive, right? Hope and change. Oh, we shall overcome. We just keep on marching and praying, and we got to keep trying to make progress. And it's like how much longer do we got to go before we get some? We know they don't want to give us reparations. It's out of their control. It's not if, it's when, but we know they don't want to give us reparations, right? And so at what point do we say, okay, the system ain't working for us? It's never designed to work for us. It will probably never work for us. When will we separate? Now, again, let's go back to Black Wall Street. Of course, we know it wasn't just Black Wall Street. It was a whole host of Black towns, right? Because where else were we going to go? When I say we, I mean our ancestors. Where were we going to go? They freed us off of the plantations thinking, okay, yes, surely they'll fail, right? Because they've been living a good life, living a good life on the plantation, right? And so that they had to free us, right? Due to the Civil War and all that, the South lost and they had to let us go. We did what we needed to do. We built towns and all kind of stuff. We didn't need them for anything because for one, they wasn't going to give us nothing. They didn't want us to have anything to do with anything that they had. So we said, bet. Well, we had already built this country, so we can build our own towns, right? We had everything. We had hospitals, schools, churches, grocery stores, you name it. We didn't need them for anything. And of course, we know the rest is history. And now we're living in a time where they, right, being a lot of white people saying, hey, we want our own communities again. And we know that they have them, right? Sundown towns, but they're really out in the open saying, yes, we're going to build our own community with just whites only. And we want to keep it to ourselves. And we don't want anybody in there, including the Hodge twins who asked that one dude in, was it Arkansas? Oh, can we come? And he was like, no. Right? So at what point do we just say, all right, it's do or, because that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, separation or, right? And, you know, he basically said that we're not going to be able to get along with them in peace. They don't want to get along with us in peace. It's not that we're not trying to get along. They don't want to get along with us. There is no peace at all. My daughter went, before I came on here, she was showing me a story happened in Washington, D.C. There's a white couple accused a black man who's minding his black business, accused him of trying to them and their baby. The baby wasn't even a year old, right? So of course the police, they gaffle him up and everything like that. And they're like, this man don't even have a record or nothing. At this point, it's just kind of your word against his. It sounds like maybe the guy was arrested. They let him go. But then the white guy, he kept on documenting this on video. Oh, you know, with him calling the police. Are you sure he doesn't have a record? Are you sure? Because he said he was going to, you know, me and my baby and my wife and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, no, sir, he doesn't have a record. So there's a sister online who lives in DC, and she started to get involved. And she looked the white dude up and she's like, oh, but you got a record. You like to do stuff to kids, right? But just kind of thinking about that is like, this man is minding his business and this man is telling a whole complete lie. And then she dug all off into his background and saw that he's friends with Trump. He was friends with Charlie Kirk. And so I was like, okay, so you just picked a random black man minding his business, walking down the street and just told a whole lie on him. And then find out that you like to mess with kids. So at what point do we just say as Black Americans, we got to work toward separating? Now, I know there's some people somewhere that are trying to do that, but when do we really just get serious? And another thing that made me think about this is I learned, and you can look it up, that the Department of Education, they are going to be incorporating Turning Point USA, which was, you know, Charlie Kirk's organization. Turning Point USA, I guess their stock in the curriculum. I also heard that there was another one. I can't think of the PragerU. That's another thing that was like Turning Point USA. They're going to, you know, try to implement that in the Department of Education and, you know, disseminate it all to the kids and things like that. And then, of course, with that is, I guess, Trump's 1776 project. I guess it was supposed to be direct opposition to the 1619 project. And it's basically teaching the founding principles, you know, of this country. And it's like, well, for us, what does that mean to learn about the founding principles? We know what that meant for us. That wasn't anything good at all, right? So, like, even with that, when do we separate? When do we start saying, okay, we need our own schools for our own babies? Because now they're going to be going to school and learning, you know, doctrine that's going to keep them further from knowledge of self. So I can go on and on, but I'm going to get into the comment section to see what you guys have. And of course, y'all know Marcus Garvey was telling us to separate as well for the same reasons that these folks do not want to live in peace with us, that we will never achieve anything we need to achieve trying to make it or, work within the system, because the system was never designed for us. So let me see what y'all got to say. Oh, a lot of y'all came on here, I see. Okay, let's see. I'm trying my best to catch up. Where did I leave off? Denise, I think I haven't seen you. How you doing? Says, seriously, separation is our only solution. It has to be, right? Easy E, how you doing? Kevin, what's going on with you? Arneva says, I missed it webcast. I'll go over there after the show. Yeah, it's up now. I have to watch it too. It was really good from what the stuff that I did see. The webcast last night, the 40th anniversary of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan visiting from the wheel. You guys have to check that out. Man, it's almost like the stuff he was saying back then, like obviously he knew, right? But he described everything that's going on right now to a T. One Box, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says, hello, Kazelle Berry. Tracy says, I watch more streaming services. So you watch the streaming services. And Roz, how you doing? Says, I'm ready to separate. I'm ready to delineate too. Absolutely. King Nova says Jimmy Kimmel didn't lie. Well, yeah, that's where the debate is, right? But I think it's a lot of people is like, there's a little bit more to it, right? And it sounds like he won't be the only one. And then I guess for him to go back on the air, they're saying that he needs to, I guess, apologize and write a check to his family. That sounds like a shakedown to me. Goddess, how you doing? So Jimmy Kimmel did blackface before, so I guess that's karma. See, I don't know nothing about him at all. Well, he did blackface and they kept him on the air, so that wasn't a big deal to them, right? It's crazy. Are you talking about Jimmy Fallon? Because I think Jimmy Fallon did it. I be getting them confused too. Was it Jimmy Fallon or was it Jimmy Kimmel or both? Let's see him skip down just a tiny bit. Fair use, how you doing? Hope you're doing well, Roz. He says, greetings, Demetri family. I'm ready to separate. Okay. Marty says, we need a national website that connects all Black Americans together, one platform, then organize a conference on the site, off-site, discussing how we all can contribute financially. Yeah. I mean, we can figure out a way to do that online. I mean, or even in the local community. We all know, each one of us know quite a few Black people, right? That we could get together and say, hey, it's time. It's time. We got to shake the spot because the spot ain't hot no more, right? Kamar, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Diane, how are you? Hope you are having a great day. Bro Gooey says, if these companies and corporations are going to fire people for free speech, then we should boycott these same companies and corporations to let our voices be heard. See, you know what? Me and you are here. We're here, right? But see, the problem is we are such consumers. We're such a consumer base. And I'm telling y'all, if y'all would watch The Century of the Self, The Century of the Self is on YouTube. It was the last time I saw it. Century of the Self. It's a 4-part series. And it basically talks about how we became consumers, right? Like, I needed my precious. I need it when we didn't need it before, you know? But and I agree with you. But again, the problem is, well, you know, I should cancel my streaming service or not go shop here or there, but I'm such a consumer. It's like crack. But that's where we should be. Not even just Black Americans, but everybody. That's what they do in other places. They're like, we don't like in France, they have turned all the way up. Nepal, they got what they wanted, right? And they ran their whole prime minister out there. But I'm just saying at the very basic, yeah, we should be saying, okay, I won't buy that. Because they shut Target down. Well, not shut them down, but, you know, they got a lot of money from them to help white women, essentially, right? So, yeah, JJ Mars, how you doing? Says a few Black outlets do nothing but show degrading garbage anyway. I totally agree, and I do not partake in that at all. Not at all. Albie Chill, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Patricia, what's going on? Says it will be a time for us. I believe the Most High is plotting against Edom. He says all nations, we need to separate. Look as though it's happening now. It is happening now, right? But we got to really get in that a frame of mind. Because like I said, they're doing that to their own people. Not that they've never done it to us, but it's like, wow, y'all do that to your own people. It's kind of, I don't know, it's just eye-opening. Like, I don't have any school-age children, but if I did, they would not be going to no public school. If I had to get a blackboard and install it in my house myself, I would teach my own child. I would not send my child to be indoctrinated with the foolishness. Not me. I'm just saying. But, I know a lot of people don't have a choice, but, just seeing what they're trying to intertwine into their curriculum. Nah, I'm good. Mad Dog, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Dixie Den, what's up? He says Facebook banned Black people and people switch to TikTok. They soon coming for TikTok. Yeah, Black people on TikTok don't have it easy either. You go on there, you see a lot of Black people, creators talking about how racist TikTok is. I'm on TikTok. I'm not monetized on TikTok. The only reason why I turned my monetization on Facebook is because it said that if I didn't switch over to creator mode, then I would lose, the people who are following me, right? Because sometimes your friend requests, I think they only give you 5,000, which is stupid at this point. But if I didn't switch over, then I would lose the other people. I'm like, because I really don't want to be monetized on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, because they be having too much foolishness going on. All right, see, skipping down. Let's see, who else haven't I seen? Let's see. Kelly, how you doing? Says we need rebuilding and separate. Yeah, we're not gonna have a choice after a while, but we might as well do it on our own free will, right? We might as well just do it now. Say, hey, let's try to, find some land where we can be independent on our own and, build from there. Miss Sweets, how you doing? Thank you so much for asking everybody to hit the like button and all of that. Love and appreciate you for that. Tracy says, well, when they build, it don't take none of our people's invitations. It says they can get along in peace with each other. Yeah, they can. But, and I know there's been a lot of argument about us getting along with each other, whatever. Y'all got to remember that was taught to us. That was taught to us not to get along. They purposely, and they still do it to this day, they purposely keep us separate. Y'all remember a year or two ago was the Black man ain't this, the Black woman ain't that. Or I'm going to go get me a white woman. I'm going to get me but this man. And it's like, where did that come from? It's just like, it almost like it came out of nowhere, right? It's like, God, how do we, I know we had our issues, right? But I don't know if we had issues more so than anybody else's community. But with us, it was just like, God, it just came out of nowhere that we hate each other all of a sudden. You know what I mean? And you just have to know that was another tactic to keep us divided. Because we know that the Black family is the nucleus of Black unity. And without the Black family, the Black woman and the Black man being together, it's going to always be a struggle. So us not getting along was taught to us even from the plantation, right? We've heard about the field, the yard, and the house, right? There was the division of the slaves. Obviously, the house, slaves were taught that you're better because they probably had some white or whatever in them because massa, was, so they seemed to be a little bit more acceptable. And then the yard was, from what I understand, a little bit lighter, and then so on and so forth. Now, how true that is, I don't know. It's probably true to some degree, but we've always been taught division because the last thing they needed us to do is to be doing some more uprisings on them, right? Fair Use says, in reality, we need our own fortified cities back in the forest. So you said we need to be in the forest? I don't know if I'm a forest type of chick, but I might. Sharon, how you doing? Sharon, what's going on with you? Herb, what's going on? He says, hi, Dimitri. Yes, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentioned that separation is a must. Yeah, we have to. It's just like, why do we want to hold on to it so much? Oh, I just can't. I don't understand. We should just get along. Kumbaya. It's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm like, y'all, I'm just a little, I don't say weird like a bad way, but I just don't have a desire at all to be hanging around a lot of them. I just don't at all. I'm not one of those people like, well, we just need to love everybody. Oh, they're okay. Ask anybody that know me, they be like, nah, Dimitri ain't trying to be hanging out like that at all. Yeah, Tracy, that man got a record, and he rolled around messing with that black man, trying to get him caught up lying. He didn't even sound like he was just the lie just wasn't lying. Kimmy, how you doing? Says the thing is, without money, we will never be safe. We have to be able to protect our communities. We got money, we balling. Black Americans, we are balling out the gym. It said by the end of this year, we should have about $2 trillion. I don't know, give or take, but that's a lot of money. But we give 97% of that away. So it ain't that we ain't got the money. We just don't keep it, right? We get the money, and because we don't have a lot of things to put our money in, like grocery stores and, the things that we would spend the money with, or maybe a black landlord that might own a black apartment. I don't know. We have to go outside and give that money away. And by the time we're done giving the money away, we got 3% of that left. So everybody else is eating greedy off of our money. And then we talking about what we going to do. Like, I don't know. We gave all of our money away because, Tracy, like you said, in a sense, we can't get along. Everybody else can get along. We can't get along. We can, but we don't want to, right? We don't know how, unfortunately, sometimes to put our little petty differences aside. Like I told y'all, a book that I read, just slipped my mind. The Secrets of Oriental Wealth. The Hidden Secrets of Oriental Wealth. The Hidden Secrets of Oriental Wealth. You can also listen to that on YouTube. The Asians are talking to us. They're saying we don't like each other all the time either, but we know how to shut the hell up and get along, because we know we got to live in a house, a bunch of us. Then we all go to work and bring the money back and say, okay, bet there's a house up the street for sale. We're going to go buy that. Then we're going to wash, rinse, repeat till we own the block. And then we own the block over there and the block over there. And then we're going to go put, a chicken and rice house in a black neighborhood. And then we're going to go put a beauty supply in that black neighborhood, and bam. Because they know how to get along, even though they don't get along. So we got to learn how to do that. Sometimes we got to just button our mouth, right? Anais, how you doing? Says be separate. Yes, indeed. 540 D says delineate. We got to. Rose, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Lashandra, he says delineate. Yep. I'm gonna skip down because I know I'm behind. HD LC, how you doing? Says Google John Crawford III and Walmart. Sounds familiar. Is that somebody that got pew-pewed in Walmart? Is that the case that I'm thinking about? Correct me if I'm wrong. Michelle W says, thank God my kids are adults. There's no way I would allow my kids or grandkids to be indoctrinated with whitewash history. Yep, I wouldn't either. Not me. If we had to get some lead, I dig it out the ground or whatever it is and get some tree bark to write on, that's what we would be doing. But my child wouldn't be in those schools. Allegory set forth, how you doing? Says the Black Moors fashioned their system of government with the knowledge of ancient Kemet. Thus, we have to emulate our greatness. It says epigenetically bringing back our culture. I have to look that word up, but I'm with it. Marcus, how you doing? Says blacks can't separate. They got mixed families. Well, everybody's got mixed families, right? But you know what they say? You got the one drop. You black. Right? So that's another thing we got to unlearn too. Now I get it. Yeah, there's some people with mixed families or whatever, but we got to unlearn that. I see a lot of discord online. People telling people who are mixed, you ain't black, you mixed. Is like, how you gonna tell somebody else what they are? Right? Everybody else see them as black, but we don't see them as black. You ain't black. Then what are they? If they mix with black and white folks don't see them as white. If they do, it's rare. Even Hispanics and blacks that get together, they don't see that child as Hispanic. They see it as black. But us, you ain't black. And I'm not saying you're saying that, right? But that's how we think. So we got that, separation. Well, you ain't black because you did. I mean, y'all can look at me. I got two black parents, right? Very dark-skinned parents. My mom is gone on, but two very dark-skinned parents. But clearly mass have been rolling around somewhere, right? Clearly. So I'm just saying, we all mix to some degree, especially if we are saying that we got connection to those plantations. We all mix to some degree, even if it's a drop of massa, we mixed. Uncle G, how you doing? Says, have we forgot about Freedom, Georgia? So is that where a bunch of black people got together and bought some land? And I know there's some in the Nation of Islam that hereafter, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's called, they have some land as well. Let's see. Cut from a different cloth. How you doing? Says, how do we protect ourselves is my biggest thing. They did the ultimate, dropped, yes, bombs on Black Wall Street. That's a good question, because as much as they don't want to be around us, they can't stand the idea of us separating from them. Right? So that's a good question. How do we just go off and live in peace? That's a solution that we have to come to. I don't have the answers to that, but I think eventually it's going to happen anyway. I'm thinking, right? And of course, we have to police our own, people and things. And remember, we had our own communities before, right? But then there's gentrification and all this other stuff. And we policed our own communities when the old heads found out that some, young buck was running around being disrespectful or whatever the case is. They was like, oh, he is, huh? Where he at? And they handled it. They didn't need no outside intervention. So we need to bring back those principles, right? I tell you all the time, when my mom was a kid, she got smart with a lady couple blocks away from her house. Now, my mom was born in 1949, right? So, I don't know how much telephones, I imagine they had one or whatever, but she got smart with the lady. The lady slapped her face. She slapped my gum out my mouth. Okay, that's her mouth. So when she got home, the lady, I guess, got word to my mom, my grandmama, called her whatever, and she said her mama slapped her again. Can you imagine doing that today? Your child or somebody's child getting slapped by Miss Glodadine up the street because she got your child got smart with him, and then Glodadine was like, Miss Bessie, I had to slap your child because they was whoa. And then your mom be like, well, you know what? I'm going to slap them when they get home. Can you imagine that today? Glodadine call your mama. You know you didn't put your hands on my child. See, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because back then, there was that village. Well, if you had to get her together, I'm going to get her together when she get home because she know better. She don't be embarrassing me out there in them streets talking fresh and smart. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get back to those. Now, I'm not saying necessarily you got to put your hands on people, but it's an option. Who else haven't I seen? Mr. South Carolina, how you doing? Says Ukraine receives $4 billion. No ask questions as to where the money comes from. Yep. One box, 1776. You said disco era? No, not no disco era. I don't think they was doing disco in 1776, but that's the plan that Trump wants to implement in school, the founding principles. Maya, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says, let's all go back to Cali. Yes, I'm with it. I definitely go back to Cali. Ladybug, how you doing? Says it was Jimmy Fallon, not Jimmy Kimmel. That's what I thought. What I'm so behind in these comments, but yes, what I thought it was Jimmy Fallon that had the black face. All right, I'm gonna go all the way down because I realized I was so behind. Brother Samuel, how you doing? I know you watched the webcast last night. I know you did. I gotta rewatch it because, like I said, I dozed off. Frank, how you doing? To separate, you mean as far as our own federal government? I mean, I guess they wouldn't. We'd have to pay taxes or something somehow. But yeah, we can have our own. It doesn't have to be as official as. Well, we can't have our own federal government, I guess. I don't know if they let us separate to that degree, but we have to separate for the most part, right? Believe it or not, there's people in towns that are already separate. There's one that was at Louisiana, I think it was. That was like a year or two ago that won the right to separate from everybody else. It's an all-white town. Now, the point of contention was with everybody else that they separated from was like, but you separating with our tax money, though. Break ours off from yours and y'all go do what you want to do, but you can't take our tax money too, right? So yeah, we get that has to be figured out too, but I doubt the federal government will just cut us loose and say, you're on your own, right? Even though in a way they do that with the Indians, the Indians have sovereign nation. I guess that's what we would need as well. JC, how you doing? Says from military, and I'm sorry, I'm so behind. I don't know what that is. And regards to. Laverne, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Robert, what's going on? Says, I don't want my grandson going to public school, but his mom feels like it's okay. So in this situation, all that I could do is pray for all the children at the school. Yeah, your daughter probably just needs a little bit more education as to what your grandchild will be learning. They don't want them to learn anything about Black, I call American history, like slavery and stuff like that. They want them to learn the whitewash. Abraham Lincoln was a good old man, all that kind of stuff. Obadiah says, it doesn't seem like we would be able to do it here. That's the hope, though, right? I wouldn't be above going, as Marcus Garvey is trying to have us go to Liberia, which it was, former slaves that went over there, right? So I wouldn't be above leaving here. A lot of people don't want to leave, though. Renz, how you doing? Sapphire, what's going on? She says, even commercials are pushing agendas. Yep. And like I said, I don't watch a lot of TV, so I don't get to see a lot of commercials. Like if I'm on YouTube, the ads will come up and you can skip those. But yeah, the ones that I have seen, yes. Mata, how you doing? Says Little Rock, Arkansas. Yes. Are you talking about the town that the white people want to separate, or is that you're saying where you're from? Either way, welcome. Renaissance Woman, how you doing? Says there's a large section in this country that's not populated, so they could give it to us. Yeah, they can. Let us have it. For those of us who want to go, and some of us, like Marcus Garvey said, he said there's some that are no good here when he was trying to go, to Liberia, and there'll be some no good over there. So they probably just got to go with it, go where they gonna go, right? Because it's utopian thinking to think that it all 47 million or however many of us are over here are going to want to go and then go and cooperate, right? Like you're going to go and you're going to be on some foolishness there. You're going to have to find something else to do. SBC, how you doing? Says, how do we protect from the inevitable sabotage? That is a good question. Because I'm not saying there won't be. Like I said, they don't want us to be around them, but they can't stand the idea of us not being, around. Because who else will they pick on to make them feel superior? That's why it's a false idea. It's a false idea of supremacy. But they need us in order to feel supreme, right? They need somebody to put their thumb on so they can say, yes, we're supreme. Because if you're supreme, you can be that all by yourself. You don't need to degrade a whole group of people, to do that. But that's how white supremacy works. It needs somebody who they deem to be inferior for that whole notion to work. Online safety, how you doing? Says same story, different millennium. Okay. Duda, how you doing? Says not your money. Okay. I did not realize I was so behind. Okay, Tracy, I got you. I wasn't for sure if you were talking about us, but it's kind of hard to translate it on here. One Box, thank you so much for that love and appreciate you. Says we need to move collectively and silently, mostly. Yeah. As it's been said, the revolution will not be televised and it should not be on Facebook either. It shouldn't be. Like we do have to move quietly. What happened to, hey, meetings at my house at 7:00 tonight, everybody come over and we strategize, right? Well, what we gonna do with this extra money we got? How we gonna do A, B, C, and D? Are we willing to, somebody who has teaching skills or whatever, teach the children, homeschool? Like, what do we need to do to separate from the system? So those are the things we have to get back to. Turn the TV off and start having conversations. Start getting into some of these books, start really using the principles that were taught to our ancestors. We have to. But of course, how you doing? And Arneva says, if we can give 97% of our money away, just imagine where we would be if we kept it. Man, we wouldn't even be having these conversations at all. Mimi, how you doing? Says my husband uncle bought a series of row homes in the 1960s. Not a one of his 7 children own even one of those homes today. Are you for real? They sold them. See that right there? Because we gonna get the money. You don't get the money and do what? Go on vacation, buy a car. What are you gonna do with the money? It's like the money is the real estate. See, we got to stop doing that. We're talking about, oh, they gentrifying. No, I ain't gentrifying as much as you selling off grandmama in them house. And, you know, a lot of our grandparents and stuff like that, they didn't have no spectacular jobs, but they knew how to save, right? And they bought them a little, they another piece of thing. Sorry, I don't know why my thing did that, but I'm gonna pass it down to you, and then they wash, rinse, repeat. But unfortunately, you know, we're not doing that anymore. King Noble says John Crawford, 2014 in Ohio shot. Okay, yeah. I remember that with a BB because he had a BB gun or something like that, and they have those in Walmart. Light, how you doing? Says literally everything taught in white education system is a designed lie. Yep. Willie, how you doing? Says in order to be loved, you have to be lovable. Family equals unity forever. Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Yeah, I don't know why my thing went in and out, but hopefully it doesn't do it again. Patricia says he tell us to look to the east. Okay. Shan says play mix awesome with someone and everybody mixed up with us because they know we are the blueprint of the world. Absolutely. Ernie says, I'm all for separation, but the problem is a lot of people don't know how to get along for the greater good. That saddens me. Yeah, we got to teach that. Got to teach that to our babies, how to get along, conflict resolution, and, you know, emotional intelligence and all of that. New York State of Mind, how you doing? Says reparations and reparations, no vote. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Who else haven't I seen on here? Denise, did I see you? If not, hello once again. If I did, says they don't get along with each other because there's no peace in them. This is why they desire to keep us among them to continue the suppression. Absolutely. Should have read your comment. Brother Don, how you doing? Hope you're doing well today. Michael, what is going on with you? Gullah Geechee, how you doing? Says my family went through 20 years of gentrification, and after it, Central America settled around us. Okay. Abigail, how you doing? Says when we dropped the heavy duty black ball and chain, the reclassification and separation, us as blacks in the first place, we are American Indians. We had unity, no prison, and did for ourselves. We surely did. Richard, how you doing? Says I grew up with light skin and dark skin relatives. We were family. I saw a lot of family with one parent light skin and the other dark. It was kind of mandatory with the ancestors. Yeah, I mean, we are all different shades and colors and things. And I would like to say I'm 100% black, but if you have connection to slavery, you're not 100% black. There's some Black Americans that are 100% black because maybe their family lineage never was on the plantation. But I think most of us, you know, probably did have lineage to the plantation. Who else haven't I seen? Because I need to catch up. Mad Dog says these parents and kids are raised by social media. You ain't lying. Laverne says I agree with the most of your content. We think alike. Teach on, Ms. D. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Lady Diana, how you doing? 48 TCO in the building. What's going on with you? Buckhorse, you said I smell a boycott. Well, I mean, that's up to us, right? We're too distracted. Brother Samuel says I have to rewatch it as well for the same reason, especially after eating my first meal around that time. Yeah, I think it ended was like at 10:30. It was like, whoo. Yeah, I was struggling to stay awake. It was good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I didn't stay awake because it was boring. It was just, I be sleep early. Old school. How you doing? Says we need to create our own black grocery store, gas stations, car manufacturing company, gun manufacturing company, etc. Yeah, we used to have all of that back in the day. We just need to get back to that. Yes, indeed. Tags, how you doing? Says it was both Fallon, Kimmel, and also Fallon and Kimmel both did the blackface. So yeah, I thought it was Fallon. I didn't know if it was both, but he didn't get taken off the air for that. And neither one of them did. You know, Lady Diana says we were born to constantly fight, living in this country. Barbados is looking good for an exit plan. Yeah, a lot of people are just like, I'm leaving, right? Y'all can have this place. It's all yours. But yeah, a lot of people are just not going to do it. So it's not worth it. Hey, Sunlight, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Texas says if Black Americans leave, you're taking the engine out of the car. Black people is America's engine. Without you, America won't work. That's what I'm saying. They don't want us in their neighborhoods, but they don't want us to totally leave. They don't, regardless of what they say. Who will they pick with? I mean, we know that there's other people they will pick with, but you see what they doing with them, right? But yeah, I really don't think they want us to leave. Princess Iman, how you doing? Says people shouldn't shop at Save a Lot just based off of quality. First of all, Save a Lot. I've heard of Save a Lot. Isn't that like an Aldi's or something like that? Timothy, how you doing? Said it's imperative in this time. Absolutely. Let's see. Willie says Africa rather sold their brother African to confuse FBAs of their land. He said confuse FBAs of their land. Okay. Thank you, Miss Sweets. Cut from a different cloth to say right. Kimmy says, I don't believe in this utopian idea. Because where is utopia, right? It's cute in theory, but I don't think there's a utopia anywhere. Beverly, how are you today? Hope you're doing well. S. Williams, how you doing? Says, truth be told, we're already separated. Take places like Detroit, Newark, Cincinnati, Cleveland, St. Louis, and the list goes on. Why haven't these been invested in well over half a century? Yeah, I agree with you. Those are very large Black communities. We just need to go make it happen. I wouldn't be above, moving to somewhere like that. I'm in Houston. It's a large Black community. I think it's one of the largest Black areas, if you will, in the United States. I don't know if it's the largest, but it's one of them. That's all I'm going to say about that. California, not so much. Earth Angel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. What African Native says Charleston White is right. I seen him carrying on, if you will, on X. I'm like, boy, does he want them to do something to him? Like, what is his purpose, right? And we know that Charleston White is a troll, but it's like, damn, man, you might want to relax just a little bit, because them people, they own one. Abu, how you doing? Says a week and 50 a month. And what does that mean, if you don't mind me asking? No reparation, no vote. Says possession, 9/10 of the law. We built this country. I ain't leaving. So yeah, there's a lot of people like, I'm not leaving. Mimi says you're not leaving either. Kimmy says we need resources and protection. Yeah, we do. Shannon says I'm not going to tell you no lie. My family lineage, I think, is freaking slavery made. I don't care. So you say your lineage is in slavery? Is that what you're saying? Cut from different cloth. Says Detroit is beautiful. I've never been. I'd like to go. Mahaya says, when I was a court reporter, I remember a deposition with Korean dry cleaners. I found out they give all their people a small discount, something to think about. But again, where's the Black cleaners? Where's the Black dry cleaners? There used to be a whole bunch of them. I would love to go. I don't go to cleaners much, but when I do, I'd love to go to a Black one. We used to have a whole bunch of them, like this, all the way up, I want to say maybe to like the 90s or so, and then it just kind of start to dissipate. Tracy says, I can't stand Charleston White. Yeah, he's something else. Denise says, webcast in close to 11 p.m., but it was worth it. We don't have to go nowhere. We built this, and we will be divinely protected once we separate family. You know what? I co-sign that, and I totally agree with you. Yeah, it ended pretty late. I'm just one of those people. I go to bed super early because I get up really early. And I was watching, I actually just kind of dozed off, but I already knew they was going to put the replay up. So I'm going to watch it. But I watched most of it because they were kind of going back and forth with Brother Ishmael. And then, all the other ones, Wesley Muhammad and Ilya and the rest of them, they were there. So it was kind of like going back and forth. Of course, I watched the original message of the minister and stuff. It was really good, but I was just really blown away when I was up watching it. You would have thought I was in church, because I was like, whoa. Because it just the things that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was saying back then is just like he's talking right today, even down to mentioning about what would happen in Washington, D.C. This was like 1989, I think it was, when he did that speech. The press conference, I guess, is what it was. And even to talking about Washington, D.C. and what they was trying to do is going on right now. So it's just like, if you don't believe, I don't know what else to tell you, So, yeah. Sherry, how are you doing? You say, we still have one black cleaner here in Indianapolis. Yeah, but how many was it before, right? You can throw a rock and hit a black cleaner. It was kind of like one of our things, right? Earth Angel says financial driven out with overhead, taxes, etc. Oh, so they talking about that's what happened with the cleaners. Yeah, but how are they holding on to it before? You know, Timothy says we are prisoners in our own home, and until we see them as the invaders they are, and we will have the problems with them. Yeah, they don't see themselves as invaders, right? They think this country is there. I saw some guy was saying how this country belongs to white people, and it's like, since when? It wasn't yours. Jamal, how you doing? Says looks like we're going to have to protect ourselves. Absolutely. Did I miss somebody's comment? Somebody, Deacon of the South. You said at Deacon of the South. If there's a Deacon of the South here and I didn't see your name, hello. Sorry about that. LeVar says, my dad owned a cleaner. See, in the 1950s, don't know what happened to it. That's sad. See? Brother Don says, you will flee when Babylon is being destroyed by Yahweh. Yeah, it's already there, right? Mo B, how you doing? Says, off subject. It says, CK wife. Name is Erica. Or also, so with the triple K's, I see what you did there. Sounds like they named her CEO of his company as well. It's like, okay. Edwin, how you doing? Says there's still a black family-owned cleaners in my hometown of Morgan City, Louisiana. See, tell y'all, that's something we used to have as those dry cleaners. Because one thing we did is keep our clothes dry clean. Kimmy says separation starts in your mind. Take small steps to build your life now and make life better for yourself. Yep, do for self. Absolutely. Michelle says in Maine, the parents and adult children all live together on the same property in their own homes. As wicked as they are, they have family unit together. Oh, you could best believe that. They do. They have these big old, like these acres, and there's a house here and a house here and a house there. They all live on the same land, but they have their own houses. Why can't we do something like that? We can't live under the same roof. Okay, great, right? What about living on the same land and just build houses? We could do that. Hey, Vicky, how you doing? Brother Don says the script says you're going to have to flee or face the consequences. Absolutely. Easy says, D, let me tell you how leaving is counterproductive. I grew up in a small town, Georgia. Our exit caused food deserts and a property being snatched by all of them Floridians exiting Florida, buying all the land. I totally agree with you. When we leave, yeah, they do that, right? And then we're like, well, where are we going to go now? Because everything else is expensive. Albie Chill says, the Nina Pinta Santa Maria never existed. Exactly. Alvin, how you doing? Says, can we build our own town and cities, but first learn to protect them from another Lake Lanier or Black Wall Street first? Yep. Well, first, we know, especially with Black Wall Street, what that was about, right? It was about that woman. I don't even know how she was over there. I really don't. I guess we probably need to find out. I have never heard the story of how she was there. Was there one? I can't remember if there was a white store there or was it Rosewood? I think it was. But what was she doing over there? What was she even doing over there? In the elevator or wherever she was? What was she doing there? It's a good question. Earth Angel says outsourcing of jobs from Black neighborhoods, communities. China became a world power because of the hatred produced. Yeah. See, we start our own companies and stuff again. We don't have to worry about none of that at all. Tracy says today there was a man following a Black woman this morning in his car. Then he got out of his car and started chasing her. What? Pew-pewing. You could tell he was a pale dude. I bet they won't find him. And where was this at? That's crazy. Scoop, how you doing? Says we got to stop fighting over what Big Mama leaves behind and use it to build businesses instead of giving it to the greedy white courts and lawyers. Yep, because you know how we get down. When I want to sell it. Well, why don't we just keep it in the house? Because I don't want it. I want to keep sell it. Give me my money. Just give me my. And then, unfortunately, the other people don't have the money to buy that person out, right? And so they end up selling the house because it's usually one person. Well, I just want my money. Yeah, Big Mama didn't say we have to keep the house. She gave it to all of us. I just want my money out. So yeah, your average logical thinker, how you doing? Says, I think during these times, black folks is fed up and we fighting back. We all need to stay armed and become unified to build towns. We have no choice. You're 100% right. Lady Brownbird, how you doing? Says, this separation talk is so far from achievable. We don't have any army and would need one to match the USA. Impossible. Well, I hear what you're saying, but we're not separating to fight against them. We're just separating to say, hey, you know what? How y'all doing? You know, over there, right? We're not trying to separate because we want to fight with them, anything like that, even though they would probably want to do that with us. And even if we did have an army, we'd still be outnumbered. Which why, you know, people say it's going to be this race war. If there was a race war, well, how would we fare? Probably not well. You know what I mean? Because we're outnumbered. I mean, we probably could do something, but would we win? I don't know. With God on our side, yeah, absolutely. You know, but hopefully it doesn't come to that. That's all I'm saying. Albert Chill says, my town put out an article stating immigrants create more businesses than the native citizens. However, they don't say that our tax dollars go to them to start their businesses tax-free. Yeah, see, that's so divisive. And I'd vote those people out. I would. They'd be out of there. My eye, how you doing? Said Demetri, I agree. Unity, unify, unity. Yep. Abu says Terry wanted to sell Big Mama's house. Oh, you talking about soul food? Lady Brownberg says we would have to fight. They never leave us alone. Yeah, unfortunately, right? But yeah, we're gonna need some divine intervention. Mimi says food poverty solution: grow our own food. Dollar Tree, sell seeds, great success. We're gonna have to, like we used to do. African Native says FBA versus Amerikaners. Tracy says, Demetri, true. It was a family here in Philly where the house was left to two sisters. One wanted to sell, the other one was like, no. So the sister that wanted to sell set the house on fire and killed her sister. Now you ain't living in no house. You living in a big house, but it ain't the house you want to live in. Just that. Where does that evil come from? Because that's evil, you know? And her children, oh yeah. But they, you know, money make people do some weird stuff. It's not even funny. Buckhurst says, we are the greatest people ever live. May God bless the living. Yawashi. Okay. Willie says, some people got more money than they got sense. You ain't lying. Kimmy says, so y'all talking to each other. So listen, I'm going to get out of here. Love and appreciate y'all for staying here with me. I know I was a little late. I am off tomorrow and Saturday unless something huge jumps off or whatever. But in the meantime, you all have a great rest of your evening and have a great Friday and Saturday. I'll be here Sunday. I'm not sure if Donovan will be here because he's in the DR. And, you know, he might tell y'all he's at a Bible study or something, but I mean, I'm sure there's some, oh God, going on, but it ain't at no church. Anyway, so if he's here with us on Sunday, it will be better for it. Anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Peace.